Hello everybody and welcome. My name is David Lees, and in this video we'll be looking at Transformers A Bold New Era, issue 18. I know I've said before in the past that you mustn't judge these comic books by their cover, but here we have three completely new robots, two plus an arm, and we'll see what happens in this episode around these three previously unseen robots. We start off with six paragraphs of text. I'm not going to read them all. It's just how to be a good mentor. There's kind of a brief background to this month's issue, and it says, you know, having a newly forged character, newly forged person, robot, is a real privilege. Look after them, train them well, blah 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 blah. But they come around very infrequently. The three characters that feature prominently this issue are Gauge, who is a newly forged, Greenlight and Arcee, who are basically his dad and his mum. I read this, saw this page and thought, oh yes, it reminds me of the classic Star Trek joke. Kirk, Spock and Captain Redshirt beam down to a planet, guess who isn't coming back alive? Ensign Redshirt, the security guy. Yeah, so you know already how it's gonna pan out. It's not gonna go well. So Arcee and Greenlight having a conversation about potentially leaving Cybertron. Greenlight's an xenobiologist, so he's quite happy swanning around the stars. Arcee's never left the planet before. So they have this discussion, meanwhile in the background, and it's the background that really makes it for me. This is Grapple. I'm sure it's Grapple. And Gauge is here as well, having a lesson with Grapple, probably on architecture. I will flip through because I'm conscious of time and trying to keep these videos a little shorter. Grapple in the background running his class. Arcee and Greenlight saying perhaps we should leave, perhaps we should stay, perhaps we should leave, blah blah blah. Oh, you finished already? That was fast. Oh, it wasn't too hard. Fun though. But it's got me. I was thinking, someone said more or less that I'm only alive because Brainstorm died. Ooh, throwback to issue 1. Wasn't expecting that. Brainstorm's death largely since then has been uninvestigated. Last time we saw it, Ratchet thought it was Frenzy who done it. No follow-up to that since then. This story is complete filler, to be honest, from start to finish. A few incidentals, but basically it just slows down the whole plot of the whole saga to go off on a little diversion. Bit of a disappointment after we'd seen Megatron storming ahead with his plans, the patrol with Astro Train, engaging with the Titan, crashing the moon, all that kind of stuff. Now, no, it's a small character piece. Bit disappointed. Arcee sets the class straight on Gauge. Wasn't just because Brainstorm died, they weren't just balancing the population. Arcee kicks some bottom. Grapple, I'm sure, in the background. Why is it getting dark? Asks Gauge down here. Yeah, why is it getting dark? Because, as we saw last time, the tether's crashing down that was securing the winged moon, energy collecting, harvesting moon. It all comes crashing down. The whole thing, probably several hundred or 1,000 kilometers long. Crash, 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 crash. What does that sound? The tether is still falling further and further away, and you can feel it. It'll wrap itself partway around the Cybertron as the planet turns. No dialogue here, definitely Grapple. Nice to see him. The tether comes crashing down, as I've said. Not much that happens. They go looking. I think there's someone in there. So Gauge goes in to the power plant, or this random building. I really couldn't deduce. And get shot for it. Take cover, get under cover. Arcee looks after Gauge. This is Bumper, who looks a bit like Bumblebee, but hey, Cliffjumper looks like Bumblebee. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. They shot Gauge. Arcee, don't you Arcee me? So Arcee goes crashing into this, I'm going to call it Decepticon stronghold, but this random building near the power plant. And in she goes. I think that brings the body count for this issue up to 2, possibly. She gets shot, goes on a further rampage. There's the second one, and they start lobbing energon cubes around. This was the energon store. That's right, it wasn't a stronghold, it was an energon store connected to the tethered moon. The energon store, we saw this way back as well, one of the early issues, and I'm pleased to see it coming back into play. It was one of those seeds that they put into the plot that has finally come to fruition, so to speak. So they start lobbing energon cubes around, potentially there's a high risk of a high explosion. But we've got Arcee clearing the area. Security operations, nobody move. Bumper comes in with this other guy. Arcee delivers a headshot and clear the area. That's it, we're leaving. So they decide to leave. They then run away as the whole building starts to collapse and explode around them. Arcee carrying her mentee, Gauge. What now? Red Alert and Inferno. Excellent. Really pleased to see this. Red Alert stands in the middle of the road and says, get off the streets, the energon storage fields are damaged, there could be an explosion. They ignore him. Unbelievable, says Red Alert. Warms my inners whenever I see your authority so thoroughly respected, Red Alert. Really does, warms them right up. So some banter between Inferno and Red Alert. Nice to see some more G1 characters getting some useful and relevant use. They then carry on racing across the planet and discover that the next starship to leave is already fully booked. So security's not letting anyone else through. They think they're trying to shut everything down. The Autobots, apparently, here we are. The Autobots are closing down system space. I find this hard to believe. This looks like a Decepticon. I might be wrong, but it's just the blue, yellow, grey colour scheme. It says Decepticon to me, it says lying. The Autobots are closing down system space. Really? However, they do all manage to get themselves on board. Greenlight and Gauge get on. Arcee smuggles herself on. And they leave. To be continued. Not much to say on this one. Bit of a diversion. Yes, we see the repercussions of the tether falling from last issue. And we see some nice G1 interaction. We've got Grapple, we've got Red Alert and Inferno being used impressively. But otherwise, no. Bit of a slowdown after the recent successes and the recent racing we've had. I really could have done with some more phases and fistfights. Next issue, Transformers 19, Rise of the Decepticons. I very much doubt it, but that's what they're calling it. Follow Arcee, Greenlight and Gauge's story in Transformers Galaxies 7 on sale next month, or possibly in 2 months' time. So we'll find out what happens to Arcee, Greenlight and Gauge in Galaxy 7 next time for us on this series, Rise of the Decepticons. I really hope so. Cover gallery, there's the one I've got. There's the one I'm fairly sure I saw Orion and his comics had this cover for issue 18. Very nice to see some differences. Some more rugged artwork here. And then Transformers Galaxies 5. I've reviewed that already. Pretty good. More hopeful than the Constructicons rubbish. In short, the Whedonverse, Lock and Key, blah blah blah. I will fly through these, and then there's the back cover with the blurb saying it's good.